I've just been listening to a video by aplaintruth, a YouTube personality who's got quite a big following, I suppose, and his latest video, which is called "The Heart Is Not a Pump." I recognised immediately that the work that he was citing was that of Rudolph Steiner. In fact, he even mentions it in the video. Rudolph Steiner, who's a confessed clairvoyant, mystic, and is a religious leader, and started a religion called Anthroposophy, made me want to make this video as a warning to those who might think that what A Plain Truth is promoting is some sort of Christianity, when it isn't in any way. I had my concerns when he first produced a video about Admiral William Guy Carr, who was also something of an occultist. I would like to say that while I believe that modern pharmaceuticals are dangerous in a lot of ways, in particular vaccines for adults that contain mercury and aluminium as preservatives, back prior to 1930, when Rudolph Steiner was around, immunisation saved many, many lives, and especially from polio and other very severe diseases and viruses. So here I'm going to present an essay by somebody who has done some research, and this will be part one of my study into Rudolph Steiner and what he taught, and hopefully put it out as a warning to others.
Rudolph Steiner, 1861 to 1925, was an Austrian mystic and self-proclaimed clairvoyant, who founded the religion known as Anthroposophy. In addition to his acute interest in spiritualism, Steiner also turned his attention to many earthly matters. One was education. Steiner founded the Waldorf school movement, which now includes over 800 schools. Another area of interest for Steiner was medicine. Today, practitioners of anthroposophical medicine can be found in many communities in North America, Europe, and elsewhere. The underlying principle of anthroposophical medicine is that everything physical is infused with a manifest spirit. Steiner claimed that the causes of illness are not primarily physical, but reflect spiritual conditions. For human beings, he taught, good health is achieved when the physical organism is properly aligned with three non-physical bodies that manifest during a human's lifetime. 1. The etheric body, a set of life forces. 2. The astral body, higher self forces. And 3. The I, a spark of divine selfhood, or ego, that separates true humans from animals and subhumans. Bad health, on the other hand, often reflects the working out of one's karmic destiny. If one enters this world carrying spiritual impurities, resulting from sins and errors committed in previous lives, disease can serve as a rite of passage, purging evils from one's bodily spiritual system. Thus, medical intervention is often a bad idea. A doctor, who cures a patient with drugs, etc., may be blocking the patient's karmic self-healing process. One result of Steiner's medical doctrines is that anthroposophical doctors generally avoid giving inoculations. A professed believer in reincarnation, Steiner taught that a disease may be part of a patient's karma, and that interfering with the illness would be unwise, because treating only the physical body would require the patient to compensate in a future life. Addressing a group of doctors, Steiner said, if we destroy the susceptibility to smallpox, we are concentrating only on the external side of karmic activity. Quote is from Rudolph Steiner, Karma of the Higher Beings, in Manifestations of Karma, Lecture 8, May 25, 1910. On other occasions, Steiner was even more outspoken. He said that black magicians and other evildoers will create medicines that will deaden people to all things spiritual. Endeavors to achieve this will be made by bringing out remedies to be administered by inoculation. Only these inoculations will influence the human body in a way that will make it refuse to give a home to the spiritual inclinations of the soul. Quote is from Rudolph Steiner, Secret Brotherhoods, London, Rudolph Steiner Press, 2004, pages 90 to 91. Although loath to inoculate or to interfere with karmic destiny, anthroposophical doctors do not completely refrain from standard treatment. They are genuine MDs, having gone through standard medical schools. After graduation, they may employ standard treatments on occasion, but they will also resort to alternative therapies when they deem these best. For example, the Defending Steiner website states, "So, anthroposophical doctors reject nothing in the toolbox of conventional medicine, a priori. Every option is considered for its appropriateness. In a specific instance, antibiotics are used when necessary, but so are homeopathic remedies. Physical therapy is prescribed, but so is curative eurythmy, that is, movement exercise, to balance the forces within the body." Quote is from Defending Steiner website, Anthroposophically Extended Medicine, accessed March 5, 2007. Herbal and homeopathic products are often prescribed. For example, rescue remedy is used on stressful days where we suffer from impatience, tension and pressure. It has also been used successfully with children to stop a tantrum, or before a speech or job interview. Rescue remedy helps us relax, get focused and get the needed calmness. Quote is from Rescue Remedy, Bachflower.com website, accessed March 5, 2007. The ingredients include Star of Bethlehem, for shock, clematis, to counteract any tendency to lose consciousness, cherry plum, to maintain mental stability, impatience, for tension, and rock rose, to prevent panic. Source, below. Even the most severe illnesses may be attacked with simple natural substances, although they are often prepared in special ways. Steiner believed that in people with cancer, or susceptibility to cancer, the individual's higher organizing forces are weak relative to the lower organizing forces, and that the resulting imbalance leads to excess proliferation of cells and eventually tumor production. In the early 1920s, Steiner regarded a mistletoe preparation, he called Escador, as a therapeutic agent capable of correcting the imbalance. Quote is from Herbal Treatments in Unconventional Cancer Treatments, OTAH 405, Washington, D.C., 1990, U.S. Government Printing Office. Steiner's descriptions of various bodily organs and their functions differ markedly from those found in medical textbooks. He declared, for example, that a heart is not a pump, and that blood circulates of its own accord, thanks to the vital force it embodies. Quote, Marinelli, and others. The Heart is Not a Pump. Frontier Perspectives, Volume 5, Part 1, 1995. Likewise, he taught that the brain is not involved in cognition. Quote is from Steiner, The Foundations of Human Experience, Foundations of Waldorf Education, Part 1, Great Barrington, M.A., Anthroposophic Press, 1996, page 60. For Steiner, true cognition was the exercise of paranormal powers made possible when individuals develop organs of clairvoyance. Quote, Steiner, knowledge of the high worlds and its attainment, London and New York. Anthroposophical physicians do not appear to conduct double-blind controlled experiments. Quote, Carroll, Anthroposophic Medicine, The Skeptic's Dictionary, accessed March 5, 2007. So, it is almost impossible to evaluate their success rates. All doctors witness mysterious declines as well as mysterious recoveries. Believers in anthroposophical medicine relate tales of highly successful treatments, but whether the alleged cures resulted from the treatments, the body's natural healing processes, or overly optimistic reporting, cannot be determined. Consequences of medical neglect. Using ineffective alternatives, instead of necessary science-based care, can have serious consequences. On waldorfcritics.org, Robert Smith Hall describes how he suffered while being raised by anthroposophists. They believe that sickness is the soul incarnating, and also that it has to do with karma. They don't believe in inoculations, so I had all the child diseases going around, some twice. Smith Hall reports that he was constantly ill throughout his childhood and that the primary treatment that his anthroposophical doctors prescribed was little white sugar pills called Influido, and buckets of horsetail tea, and also chamomile tea. Certain foods made him sick, so he was required to eat great quantities of these very foods. The feeling my parents had was that I should eat more of it, as I obviously needed to incarnate through the food. So I grew up being force-fed food that was making me sick. As an adult, having broken away from anthroposophy, Smith Hall was examined by a conventional doctor, who correctly diagnosed his wheat intolerance. He has been improving ever since. Quote, Smith Hall, growing up being made sick by anthroposophy. waldorfcritics.org website, January 30th, 2007. At the same website, Sharon Lombard relates what happened when her daughter became ill at a Waldorf school. The anthroposophic doctor made a diagnosis. My child had lost a will to live. He announced one of the potential cures we were to give our daughter red, yellow, and orange crayons to color with. I looked at my husband in disbelief. When the doctor instructed us to make the sign of a flame out of aurum cream over my child's heart at bedtime, I was dumbfounded. He told us to apply the gold cream from below the heart upwards, towards the sky. Ultimately, the girl required hospitalization and gradually recovered with standard medical care. Quote, Lombard, Spotlight on Anthroposophy, Cultic Studies Review 2003. Dr. Ezra Ernst has reported that between 1999 and 2010, at least 10 outbreaks of measles in the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, Austria, and Germany, centered around Waldorf schools whose children had immunization rates below 10%. Source below. Although the European Council for Steiner Waldorf Education has stated that opposition to immunization forms no part of anthroposophy's specific educational objectives, Ernst regards anthroposophy as a risk factor for non-compliance. Quote, as an Ernst, anthroposophy, a risk factor for non-compliance with measles immunization. The Pediatric Infectious Disease Journal Volume 30, pages 187 to 189, 2011. Standard medicine, which is based on careful research and proven facts, is still limited. It cannot explain the causes of some illnesses, and it offers no cures for some. But it has an extremely potent weapon in its arsenal, something that no alternative approaches have, the scientific method, which is the best tool mankind possesses for discovering truth. It is responsible for the great strides that standard medical care has made, and it will account for the greatest strides to come.